The first snow of winter had barely touched the ground when Clara Hayes pressed her trembling body against the back wall of Miller's orchard, whispering prayers that her daughters wouldn't wake to another night of hunger. The wind stung her face, numbing her hands as she searched through the discarded crates, hoping, begging for something left behind. When her fingers closed around a half-rotten apple, soft and brown on one side, tears filled her eyes. This was what her life had come to, stealing garbage to keep her little girls alive. Clara had once been proud. Her husband, Thomas, had been a ranch hand, known for his steady work and even steadier smile. But after the ranch fire took his life 2 years prior, Clara's world had collapsed. With no family, no savings, and 2 daughters depending on her. She worked odd jobs, cleaned barns, washed linens, anything. When influenza swept through town, work dried up. And now winter was here, cruel and early. She pulled the apple to her chest and whispered, "Thank you. Even this." Rotten and bruised was a blessing. Her girls, 7-year-old Lily and 4-year-old June, would at least sleep with something in their bellies tonight. But before she could slip away, boots crunched behind her. "Ma'am?" a deep voice said. "What are you doing out here?" Clara froze. She knew that voice. Everyone in town did. Colt McAllister, the new owner of the Triple Star Ranch. A man with a reputation for doing things his own way. Strong, broad-shouldered, a quiet loner. She'd seen him only once, riding past on a big bay horse like he carried the whole sky with him. Clara spun around, tucking the apple behind her skirt. I wasn't taking anything, just looking." Colt's eyes lowered to her shaking hands, the worn boots barely holding together. The thin coat meant for autumn, not winter. Understanding filled his gaze instantly, and it hit Clara like a blow. She didn't want pity. She wanted dignity. "You found those apples in the trash bins," he said softly. "Didn't you?" Clara clenched her jaw. She refused to cry in front of a stranger. "My girls haven't eaten since yesterday. I'll leave immediately." Colt held up a hand. "Stop, I'm not here to chase you off." But Clara backed away, already humiliated. "I'm sorry. It won't happen again." He took a step toward her, voice firm but gentle. "No one, hear me? No one should have to steal rotten apples just to survive. Not in a town full of ranches and full barns. Not in a place where people claim to be good." Clara shook her head, exhausted, ashamed. "People help who they choose to help." Something flickered in his eyes, the look of a man who knew what hardship felt like. "Come with me," he said. "Bring your girls." "I can't," Clara whispered. "I don't take charity." "This isn't charity," Colt replied. "This is what's right." That night, Colt followed Clara home, her consent given reluctantly, to a rundown shack outside town. When he stepped inside, he saw the truth. 2 little girls, sleeping on a straw mattress, wrapped in thin blankets, their faces pale with hunger. He swallowed hard. "I'll bring food," he said. "Warm food, fresh." Clara pressed a hand to her chest. "You've already done enough." "Not even close," he replied quietly. The next morning, Colt arrived with bread still warm from the oven, a pot of beef stew, blankets, and boots for the girls. Lily and June's eyes lit up like sunrise, filling his heart in a way he hadn't expected. Watching the meat made Clara cry silently. She turned away, but Colt noticed. Days turned into weeks. Colt kept showing up, sometimes with supplies, sometimes with work opportunities for Clara, sometimes just with simple kindness her heart wasn't used to. And slowly Clara began to trust him. She cleaned barns at the Triple Star Ranch. She learned to help feed the horses. Lily and June played with the ranch dogs, their laughter echoing across the fields for the first time in years. Colt taught Lily to ride. He carried June on his shoulders like she was weightless. It wasn't long before the girls clung to him, as if he were a long-lost uncle. But Clara struggled with guilt. "We're taking too much from you," she told him one evening as they repaired a fence together. "You're giving more than you know," he said. "How?" He leaned on the post, sighing. "I lost my family 5 winters ago. Thought I'd live the rest of my life alone. Then you 3 showed up and reminded me what life actually feels like." Clara's breath caught, but the town wasn't always kind. Rumors spread. Some said Clara was after Colt's money. Others said Colt was desperate enough to settle for a widow with 2 kids. Clara overheard it in the general store and returned to the ranch with fire in her eyes. "We should stop this," she told Colt. "People are talking." "Let them," Colt said. "People talk when they're bored. They help even less. I don't want to ruin your reputation." "You can't ruin something I don't care about." Clara hesitated, torn between gratitude and fear. She didn't want her daughters hurt again. She didn't want to rely on a man, only to lose him like she lost Thomas. Sensing her worry, Colt stepped closer. "And listen," he said softly, "I'm not going anywhere. I'm not offering charity. I'm offering a place to belong. For all of you." Clara's voice trembled. "Why us?" "Because when I found you behind that orchard, I realized something: no one should starve, not while I'm alive. And because—" he paused, emotion thickening his voice. "Because you and those girls feel like the family I thought I'd never get again." Tears slid down Clara's cheeks before she could stop them. For the first time in years, she let someone hold her. Winter passed. Spring brought new life to the land and to their hearts. Clara continued working, earning her own wage, and building a future for her daughters. Colt built a small cabin beside the ranch house, inviting them to move in once they were ready. He never rushed her. He never pushed. He simply stayed. By summer, the shack was empty. Clara and her girls had found a new home, a safe, warm one. And on a quiet evening, as the sun dipped low, Colt knelt in the garden he'd helped them plant. "I don't want to replace Thomas," he said, "but I'd like to build something with you. With all of you. If you'll let me." Clara didn't answer with words. She stepped forward and took his hands, her smile soft and full of hope. The girls cheered behind them, unaware of the past that had once stolen their future. From that day on, no one went hungry, no one felt alone, and Clara finally understood that sometimes the miracle you need doesn't come in thunder or fire. Sometimes it comes as a cowboy standing in the snow, refusing to let your family starve ever again. The message was clear and lasting. Kindness can save a life. Love can rebuild a broken home. And no act of compassion is ever too small to change someone's entire world.